Yeah, same thing in the prior match. Just, you know, I think he wants it, maybe putting a little more pressure because he is feeling pretty good. He was trailing 5-1 in both those matches before making the comeback.
So this is the lag. The cue ball closest to that rail will get the break, and it falls to Fedor Gorst. The Ghost looking to haunt this Harrah's result.
The one thread, excuse me, thread in the pocket a few times, got kissed again, looked like it was going to go in, and I believe this one ball's landed in the most difficult place on the pool table, right next to the knuckle or the point on the side pocket. I think we've seen this table break difficult all week pretty much. It's been a little hot and cold.
I think it's broken more difficult than certainly the other two streaming tables we've had.
I'm not sure he'll really play this. This is a hard one. May kind of bang it into the rail, send it towards the pink, and bring the cue ball back behind the green 6. You can be aggressive here. Now he's kind of cueing a high ball, so maybe just coming behind the 2. Oh, that one didn't work out.
And there's enough of the one poking out to be able to pot it.
I think there's a path to move the cue ball without hitting the brown 7 also.
Extension, cool.
Wants to come back up, maybe that where the cue ball's at now, somewhere in that vicinity. I was a little shocked by hitting down on the ball there. There could have been obviously a scratch off the brown 7. A little more friendly way to make the ball, but I thought the cue ball would always be suffering. Now he's got to show us a pretty good safety here. This looks, I thought it was going to be perfect, really. Trying to use a little bit of distance if he didn't get the snooker. Got the cue ball near the cushion.
Look of concern, but this ball is absolutely dead straight.
And I don't think Federer's unhappy the way he hit the ball. It was just that delicate. Not only pocketing the blue 2, but really, I mean, he doesn't have the bottom half of the cue ball. So how's he going to gain any position? He's going up in the air here. How you like this for your first shot? But he had to kind of play it that way, you know, that way you're not selling out something easy if you roll it and miss. Play little percentages.
Was transferred side onto the 2 ball there, and it really helped in the end because it checked up straight off that cushion, making life difficult for his opponent. That goes either one way or the other, and the pot is on.
And I'm wondering what he's going to do here. I mean, this is pretty difficult safety here, I believe. Roll the ball. You're always worried about leaving a rail first. Gonna be happy with that, though. Don't think we'll see the jump cue here. Don't really see the future in it. Oh, he is. So maybe he's going to chip the left side of the 2 here and run the cue ball. That's how good these players are with the short cue these days. Not only knocking balls in, but playing a lot of safeties.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Lots of eventualities there, Jeremy. I think
And please start the clock.
Catching the green 6 was not one we anticipated.
No, and you know, even as great as Fedor is, when it's your first shot with the jump cue and the nerves are a little high and it's a delicate one, he had to get it up and down quickly. That's the type you could see a foul, but I was a little shocked he went to the jump cue just because the kick was there to the bottom cushion behind the green 6. But to get a run started, there's nothing better than ball in hand in the first game. Not a whole lot here, really. Just might roll, kind of stun towards the 6, whichever one he wants. This is our final 16, and of course we'll play 2 rounds today, bringing back 4 players to try and get this coveted title tomorrow.
Runner-up last year, Fedor Gorst. He's got the credentials to go one better for sure.
And Phil, I didn't get to watch that Ko-Ping Chung match, but the way the score was, probably Fedor's best performance all week, is what I'm guessing.
Absolutely. The only criticism, as I said before, he was a little stumbly in getting over the line, but in building a commanding lead, he looked very good indeed.
And he must have really, because I thought Ko-Ping Chung was really taking care of business each and every match. But there were so many top players that suffered a loss, so we knew some of those big matches were going to come in that final 64.
Gorst pockets the first rack. Now we're talking about Ko-Ping Chung. His brother Ko-Ping Yi has taken the first rack from Albin Auschen. Johan Chur 1-0 up on Jeffrey Rodder in the all-Filipino clash. And Joni Uski, not to be underestimated. The man from Finland, he leads Niels Feijen, a multiple Mosconi Cup MVP, 1-0.
Yeah, I've always liked Yanni's game, just watching him evolve as a player. And I'll tell you, I watched him a little bit yesterday just because I was playing next to him. He broke the balls better than I've seen anyone all week.
So how this draw pans out, Gorst or Woodward will play Chur or Rodder next. Auschen or Ko-Ping Yi will take on Uski or Niels Feijen. It's at the bottom half of the draw that's being played at the moment. 4 tables in progress. For much of the week, it's been a case of over 20 going at the same time.
Yeah, and we'll have some more going on with the juniors as well today, the SVP Junior Open.
Rack 2. Fedor Gorst to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
Yeah, more of what he wanted there on the 1 in the side. The 2's going to open, and if it's bankable, he will play it. It's a little funny. It's near the rail. I think it does bank cross side. The outer tables that are a little more worn in, you may say, and not as dry, this bank becomes a lot easier, but on the slick table, it's definitely missable.
So many banks have been missed this week. Short, i.e. narrow. So on the near side of the pocket. Not that one. Buried.
Yeah, well, banks is another discipline these guys play, and you have 2 of the best that do it right
Extension
here
call.
in this opening match. Fedor Gorst and Skyler Woodward, especially when the pressure's on. There's a lot of great bankers, but these guys seem to bury them when they mean the most. Little awkward here. He's got to push the cue ball through the cue ball wheel near that left side a little bit.
Not a ball you expect Gorch to miss.
No, not at all. And just like the ball in hand in game one, a nice starter for Scott to get the arm loose. I think that, you know, anytime you're concerned about the cue ball feel, which I think there was a little concern with that left side pocket, easy to take your eye off pocketing the ball. Well, that's a nice stroke there and very good speed.
Originally from Paducah, Kentucky, is Skyler Woodward, now living in Texas.
Interesting. He's going to draw back to the rail to get better on the 7. So he's feeling good. Could have just kind of held the ball there for pretty much the same shot.
He shoots, he scores, he equalises. Now, before the match, we got to speak with both of these two.
The match against Alexa, I was down in the beginning, then I was up 8-4 and had a relatively easy out that I messed up. Should have been up 9-4. Instead, it went 8-7, him breaking. You know, just feeling fortunate to win that match.
I know Federer's a great player, and we've played a bunch of times, and it's always fun playing him because it's always a good match with us. So I think I'm just gonna have to take advantage of any mistakes he makes or any opportunities I get. I gotta get going.
You can't really stop anybody from a comeback unless you just run out every time. That's what happened to me in Germany. You know, I was playing Skyler in the last 16 rounds, same as we're playing today, and I was up 9-5 and didn't really have a chance to even shoot at the ball, and I lost 10-9. So hopefully this time I have a chance to close it out, and I do.
The U.S. Open is definitely so special to me. One of the most prestigious ones, so yeah, if I can just keep going, you know, any step closer is a great feeling for this event for me.
An American winner of the US Open is sitting right next to me,
Thank you,
and Jeremy, to win on home
Skyler
soil.
Woodward to break.
That has
Scores are tied,
resonance.
1 racket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where the game originated. We've been watching all the past champions win it before, and America's dominated through the years in this event, but the break's a little off. The cue ball's going to get lost. Oh, I did make the pink, though. But yeah, any American that could take this down is something special, something we'll never forget. All right, Skyler, he did get a ball down, but he knows he's got to improve on the breaking end. This is another kind of awkward shot.
Please make sure they're all on silent. Thank you.
Don't think it's going to be offense. The 8 ball blocks the cross corner bank. Combination on the 1-2 is shootable, but kind of low percentage. Could he float the cue ball behind the blue 2? I don't really think so. It's a bit risky. It's coming up behind the purple, I think. Trying to play something a little crafty. Oh no.
Foul strike.
Chances of
All
that
in
happening
hand.
coming across. He knew it was very slim, but it got him,
Please start
Phil.
the clock.
Scratching on a safety is rare. But it happened yesterday at Hill Hill in the all-British battle between Imran Majid and Chris Melling. Melling scratched on a safety and did not get another shot.
Well, remember the biggest tournament of the year and the biggest 9-ball tournament ever, Eklund Kachi scratching at Hill Hill against the man that's at the table now on a safety. That one almost looked like Kachi's to me. Kind of unfortunate. The roll went right by the 8.
Overscrewed that slightly. We saw a lot of that actually at the European Open recently,
Extension
where
call.
players were overscrewing. Not quite so much here. That one was just a tad flimsy.
Yeah. Better to have a little too much angle than too flat, though, so it does make it a bit more missable, but position should be okay, coming 2 cushions for the green 6. But yeah, as Abby mentioned in the opener, these tables this week have just been perfect, really. Did he hit enough here? Now he's got a bit more issues. And that's what happens when you get a little out of line on that previous ball. The speed could be just a hair off, maybe hit the pocket a little crudely, which wasn't the case there. So he's got to show us a little power trying to work the cue ball. Yeah, it's just so smart at a young age. When you get a little out of line playing this game, you know you got to work a little more on the next, not trying to get it all back in one shot. But definitely a little bit of a tester here on the 7. I was a little shocked he did that, Phil. It could have just kind of held the ball for the side. Of course, these sides we talk about all the time. Very, very difficult.
Fedor Gorst wins the rack.
Fedor Alexeyevich Gorst, to give him his full name, leads by 2 racks to 1 very early doors. What about this for a story? You know, nearby Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. What about 2 brothers going back-to-back winning the US Open? Last year it was Ko Ping Chung. It might well be Ko Ping Yi this time. That little carom, 8-9, has given Ko Ping Yi a 4-0 lead over a double world 9-ball champion, Albin Auschen. That's over on table 2. On table 1, Jan Chur, 2-1 up on Jeffrey Rodder. 2-1's also the scoreline for Niels Feyen over Joniuski on table 3. This table is known
Rack
as centre
4.
court.
Fedor Gorst to break, leading 2 racks to 1.
think he added a little more speed there. I mean, he never babies him, that's for sure, but it seemed an extra thump on the rack, the one vanishing quickly, and we're going to find out how he's feeling if he wants to attack on this blue two. It's there.
Talking about the break off, Jeremy. You sneaked in a golden break yesterday, I hear. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, at the right time. Yeah, that's right. I was trailing in that match early and actually kicked a 2-9, or was it a 2-9 I kicked in and made a 9 on the break as well. So some good things. All right, he could run off his left side or right side of the blue two and run the cue ball back up. It's there, but he's going to attack, trying to draw the cue ball. Maybe a backdoor safety on a miss. Yeah, well, he got his sleep last night, Phil. What a shot.
Nothing backdoor about that. Kicking down the front door, that was.
I really thought it was a pretty unlucky scratch on that safety from. That's got to go a little bit to make things a bit easier. Got a little thin here, and now he's got to make a big decision. What I was getting at is I thought it was a little cold, the scratch coming across by the 8 that far, running through that blue 2 from Skyler, but
cool.
It appears it could be a costly mistake.
It happens in cue sports, the old positional knock-on effect. Out of shape on one shot leads to even more out of shape the next. But there is an obvious, perhaps telling tactical shot to play here. But he's still eyeing up the possibility of getting Woodward in as much trouble as possible.
This may open a hair. No, the speed settled. Very good. But this is the thing about the great players. What makes them so great is being aggressive, of course, but they hate playing safe against other great players because they know they can turn things around, and that's certainly what happened at the European Open just a couple weeks ago. He's not sure what he's eyeing up here. Had an unsuccessful jump shot on a foul early. Now you're going to 2-rail kick at this off the top rail, side rail. Take a chance at making it, but cue ball could end up somewhat where it's at now. A little light. Wanted a bit more speed, I think, but he'll take it.
Yeah, I can see it in my mind's eye now. Gorch 9-5 up, he welded Woodward right in behind the ball. It looked as though it was the beginning of the end. Over in Fulda, I actually thought it was, and then magic happened. Woodward kicked, made the ball, or made a ball, and off he went. Woodward come back, was in earnest.
All right, really smart shot there because it could have got a little tricky if you try to do more. So getting the simple snooker, a ball that Skyler should hit. And he wants a full collision here with a high ball as far as high spin, trying to hold the cue ball. Could just go for luck and put some speed on it, but I like the safety really. Yeah, about that speed. Yeah, trying to hit it heavy and leave something long.
Now, I've seen Gorst play this shot so often this week, and he's been so accurate. This is one that definitely fits his eye.
Yeah, Yeah, and he's trying to figure out how it agrees with the speed for position on the green 6 as well. He's already used his extension, so he's got to get on with it. May cannon kind of 2 rails into the 8 here. Oh, he decided to pull it. It's going to end up short for shape, but may not slow him down with a cross corner bank on the green 6.
Yeah, the problem there, he just caught it slightly too thick, and that's why the cue ball didn't travel as much as they anticipated.
Yeah, missing the pocket one side or the other will cost you usually about a foot of cue ball. Watch out now, he could catch the 8 here. 3 rails for the 7. He's feeling good and he's going to stay aggressive. That's when these players are really fun to watch.
Already shown in this match how accomplished he is when it comes to banking. And of course, in June, he banked $250,000 in Saudi Arabia at the World 9-Ball Championship.
All right, 2 rails just to pass the black 8 for the left middle. That's the position. Tell you what I see, he's real settled, just kind of working the cue ball. It hasn't been perfect, but it really isn't, you know, he's not forcing much. Looking to pull this some 3 rails with low right spin. Come for the 9 on the side. Gorch, he'll kind of cue in the center and then drop the tip on the draw stroke. It's got to slow down. Gonna have the corner still, but
Fedor Gorst wins the race.
I think the best way to assess this so far from Gorst's perspective is that he's been good, but not perfect. He leads 3-1. 4 tables simultaneously in operation here. What a feast it is for the fans. We started here with over 20 tables. This is Johan Chua. 2-2 with Jeffrey Rodder. Look where that black 8 ball is, right in the pocket. That should be okay, but there's just a slight question mark about the 9 for the man who, when he's at his best, Jeremy, can be simply inspired.
yeah, he's a true entertainer with that cue in his hand, and I think he's still settling into these big events, playing more of them. Truly one of the best on the planet.
Chua in front at 3-2. And if he wins, he will play either Gorst or Woodward next. What about Coping Yi on table 2? This is extraordinary. 6-0 up on Albin Auschen.
Fedor Gorst to
Auschen,
break.
by his wonderful
Leading
standards,
3 racks to 1.
hasn't had a good year. And this could be another major disappointment.
I can't recall if it was his last round or the one before. He made a huge comeback to win 10-9. That being Coping Yi to really survive in this event. How you like this break? Another long 2 ball, but definitely he's going to stay aggressive.
Yeah, Coping Yi almost lost to Barnsley's Elliot Sanderson.
Yeah, Elliot, another player that's just improving every event. The shouter. Okay, we'll see how much he wants to get out of the cue ball here. The more he wants to draw the cue ball, the more missable the ball is. Of course, you don't want to baby it. We'll see his tip position in a moment. Might be going forward. All right, caught it a little heavy to the pocket. He's not going to be totally happy. He's maybe fortunate that the purple 5 isn't over on the side rail bit. You can just pinch this out. Take the purple in the upper right. really has a choice here to stun across the table or kind of draw up the left rail, whichever he chooses. Gates very available, and the Brown 7 plays to both corner pockets.
Just to give you some geography, here in Atlantic City, we're 125 miles south of the Big Apple, New York City. And for Fedor Gorst, these 3 balls are very much low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's really that scratch on that safety that got him going. Of course, it hadn't been all clearances. There were a few safeties from Fedor kind of containing Skyler, but from a few little early mistakes by each player, just one, I think, really. But Fedor's got the ball rolling.
He's looking like his normal, solid self, and that is ominous for the rest of the players left in this 2024 US Open. Now, I was telling you over on table 2, Copigny was 6-0 up on Albin Ouschen. Well, here is the chance to go 7-0. Another cheeky 2-9 carom, and the beat goes on. Copigny 7-0 ahead. Niels Feijen 3-2 on Janiuski now, and we saw Johan Chua go 3-2 up on Jeffrey Rodder.
It was interesting, that 7-0 lead, right? 2 former world champions right there that both, this title has eluded them through the years. I mean, of course, both very young still and have many years to try and get it, but one of them's got to go.
In this match, of course, we've got 2 Americans going head-to-head, and this event began in 1976. If you include Mike LeBron, who was from Puerto Rico, which is American territory, the first 18 winners of this were Americans. The first 25
leading 4 racks
of
to
26 stagings were Americans.
Yeah, he's crashing them. I think that's the deal. You got to really have that. You're not always going to make the 1. You give yourself a better chance for the odd ball. That's what he's got down here with the purple 5. Not an easy shot on the 1. It's a back cut. You can see he's probably going to go for it. Trying to get some type of position on the blue 2. And I was talking to Carl about that. We're always thinking about different things with the break. And, you know, when you're breaking the odd ball, when you do have a dry break, I kind of feel like my opponent has to work more. You know, we've seen some breakers on the lighter side, and then the balls kind of group together. You don't have to work the rock too much to really run out. I think this is the best way to do it, though. We'll see the biggest breaker of them all later on, SVB, trying to get that 6th of the US Open.
Yes, and for fans of Shane Van Boening, I have to say, of all the players I've seen so far, he has been the most eye-catching this week.
Well, I mean, Gorch, we have to say, of course, he's #1 in the world, and he's taken down some of the big titles. But day in, day out, I still think Shane's been as solid as any player. Really, just talked about it in the opening. You get to this final 64 and final 32 and so on. Anyone can beat you. That's how good they are. But I think Shane's going to be tough to beat.
Yes, and Van Boening next up on this table against Jason Shaw in a match that is bound to be spicy.
He's killing the cue ball here. Dead center.
didn't want to kiss that 7 ball. He did make contact, but it was more a caress than a kiss, so no harm done.
Yeah, he's not letting off the gas, and of course he should get these two down for a 5-1 lead, but it wasn't long ago. He knows what Skyler is capable of, and he's had a bunch of comebacks, 2 of them yesterday from 5-1 down.
Last time these two crossed cues, Woodward had to fight back to gain the verdict. He will need to do so again. Fedor Gorst 5-1 ahead. For Albin Ouschen, it's a case of oh no Ko. Ko Pin-Yi has this 9 ball to take an 8-0 lead in a race to 10. Ouschen's normally the one who gives out the punishment. This time he's being punished heavily by a man in prime form. Ko Pin-Yi well on course to be the first player into our quarterfinals. Other scores here as this US Open last 16 is underway. Jeffrey Rodder back in front against Johan Schur at 4-3.
Fedor Gorst to break.
4-2 now over Jan Juski.
And again, I mean, watch this guy all the time because he plays so many more matches, especially this year, than any other player. But I kind of feel like he's really amping up more and more on the break each time. He's smoking them.
The ping 4 and the black 8 ran the balls into the same pocket. Clear shot on the 1 for someone as good as him. That is what he wants. Can't wish for much more.
Yeah, it's a hair between, though. That's the problem. Is there too much angle and distance to be able to hold the cue ball? Is he feeling all right to wrap the cue ball 2 rails around the 7 with a high left ball? That's the shot I like. Got it thick, so it's probably not going to get there. You can see pocketed the 1 to the left side. That was the problem.
Well, he is an absolutely magical jumper. 2-9, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, looking to see if he could reach it with the dart,
Extension,
kind of dart in the cue. Certain types of jumps, you kind of easier to get the angle. And I think we're seeing this not only because of the stretch, but he's had a couple fouls on certain types of funny kicks when he's, you know, kind of out of position. And you notice he has to get over the 6 and get the cue ball down quickly to get to the blue 2s. I like kind of the medium kick here. I think hitting the top side of the 2, you go between the 6-3, you might make the 2, you might get it to the bottom cushion. I don't think you're going to see a lot of speed. That's all he's trying to do, Phil, is survive this next inning without Skyler running out.
And I think having stumbled over the line in a few matches, Gorst will be even more determined to safeguard this lead and just keep building and building, grinding Woodward down.
Yeah, well, they're good buddies, and of course they're going to be teammates later, or teammates later in the year. But definitely a rivalry, you could say.
Seeing here the versatile bridge that's used in 9-ball pool.
A lot of people don't realize how good a shot that was. Containing the speed, cueing over the 3. He really hasn't shot much in a few games. Now seeing the jump cue. Look at this. He's got to carry this over the 9. He probably lands on the blue 2 here. Tell you, little things, Phil, and this cue ball dragging down near the pocket. 3 is covered up by the green 6, even if he wants to attack. Very touchy safety as well off the right side. Hitting the ball nice. May not get the snooker. I think he will, but Skyler's got to be happy how he's hitting the ball. He just needs some opportunity.
Third hook in succession for Gorch.
I think he goes for this bank to the lower right. So the jump bank trying to hold the cue ball. Maybe leave some distance if he misses it. Cut it too much. Oh, looky here, looky here.
Fedor Gorst wins the rack.
It's good to be good. It's even better to be lucky. Groans in the crowd because a lot of them want Skyler Woodward to do well. And you don't like to see a rack end in that manner. Terrific sportsmanship, though. Just as you'd expect, because these two will be teammates in the Mosconi Cup come the end of November in Orlando, Florida. But what a fluke, Jeremy.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt. He said, can you save that for December? There in, like he said, in Orlando, Florida. But in the pool hall, we say it pays to hit him, and it certainly paid off there for Fedor Gorst.
Yeah, that wasn't Disney magic. That was Gorst magic. What a fortunate outcome. But as we've already said, it swings and roundabouts because Woodward had that fluke at a vital time in the European Open when they met in the corresponding stage. Jeffrey Rodder, by the way, under the radar here. He's a fine player, and he's 5-3 up on Johan Chur. 5-2 for Niels Fire over Jan Uski, and Albin Auschen
Fedor Gorst to break.
has his first rack on the board.
Leading 6 racks to 1.
Whitewash averted against Ko Ping-yi, Ko leading 8-1.
Okay, 7's going to cover up the cue ball on a dry break. So this is how 9-ball pool can be. And you really have to maintain if you're Skyler. Skyler's, he's feeling good. That's why it's easy for him to laugh it off at the moment. But you know, he wants something to get going. They're having fun with it. But you should have to kind of maintain because these matches change quickly. It doesn't take a whole lot. Even you know, facing a 6-1 deficit against as great as Fedor Gorst is. Skyler's got to
push out cool.
Got a little cover though. It's a 2-7, kind of locked up past the 1. This is a good time to talk about the push out, Phil. If you're new to 9-ball pool, after the break shot, whether you make a ball as a breaker or after a dry break, the player has a chance to declare push and push the cue ball anywhere they want, and the incoming player has the option to take the shot or pass it back. A real vital part of the game, it seems like, especially in the big moments.
He actually said, not many options here. What a strange outcome.
Extension cool.
Yeah, he certainly can't push out to a bank shot of any sort, especially if he can cue the cue ball. Now, if he's on the rail, it's a little different. Yeah, I like kind of over there. Now, the problem is he's got to almost kick to get into any position he wants on the push out other than down the right side.
Fedor, it's your choice.
Tell you what, if the 2 was a
Please start
little
the
more
clock, 60
open,
seconds.
Phil, I think he shoots this combination, but it's a little tight going by the purple.
The push out is an integral part of this game. We saw a match yesterday, Mickey Kraus losing to Joshua Filler 10-9. Kraus lost 3 racks by making a poor push out decision. Oh, and the head goes down for Gorst.
Yeah, and the thing is, you almost have to look at this as a lot better opening than it really is. It's a difficult shot. He's certainly going to attack to try and get something going on his side. Great shot there on the 1, knowing he had to kind of produce something to get on the 2. And really, Skyler's got to feel like he's hit every ball pretty well. It's just been very limited opportunities. So does he go for the bank here cross side, trying to swing the cue ball a couple rails for the gap on the 3?
Audible disappointment from the crowd here at the Harrah's Resort.
Yeah, and I'd say just like earlier, you know, you feel like you got to bury a big shot at times in this sport. Skyler, who's shown us what a great banker he is, and especially when the heat's on.
Extension, cool.
We've explained the push out. Just a reminder of the shot clock rules. It's 30 seconds per shot. Both players allowed 1 30-second extension per rack. Now this might be troublesome.
Yeah, remember he fouled early. This one's delicate as well to get over the pink 4, and he's going to try and control the cue ball on the bottom end.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
I think his tip position's just a little high, in my opinion. You know, you want to, anytime you got to
Please
get the
stop the
cue
clock.
ball up, you don't want as much tip service hitting the cue ball. You got to use basically just the top of the tip. That way the cue ball doesn't push forward much. Now surrenders another ball in hand.
Yeah, earlier skimmed the top of the green 6. This time it was the pink 4 that was obstructing. Look at this table. Well, Gorch took the opportunity to break up 7 and 8. The only thing was he's now sacrificed shape because queuing over the 8 is no bargain. Horrible.
Yeah, and he can't put much power, so he's going to have a difficult 4 if he does get the 3 down. Pretty impressive to put speed on that, though, right there. Most people, himself included, would have kind of eased that ball in.
Caught it quite thick, but it just about wobbled and went. Now we know that the pink 4 doesn't go to the middle, but it does go to the distant top pocket. Well, it went to middle jumping. Oh, and he's fluted again. He has fluted again. Embarrassing.
Yeah, kind of crazy. We've seen an incredible amount of, you know, kind of different kind of luck, you would say, and it hits that point, kind of hugs with the top spin down the rail. He's got to regroup, though. After you get a roll, it's easy to, like, lose focus. He's going to catch a piece of the 9. Ooh, could be problems. Could be problems. This has gotten a little off.
The thing is, when you get good luck, you don't want to feel guilty, and you don't want it to affect your concentration adversely. And maybe there it did with Gorch.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of got down on the ball a little quickly to me. Of course, already using his extension. Now he's got to play this into the rail and then kind of come off the rail with the green 6 for the combo. All right. Skyler's got to get a chance. Things have been against him, that's for sure.
Have we just seen a turning point? On several occasions this week, Gorst has built big leads and then just slipped out of top gear.
Yeah, no hanger here, though. He'll take it. And that's a couple shots. We'll see the difference, like the outer tables versus the TV table. The TV table with the lights just plays a hair drier and pocket just a bit more friendly. Thing about Skyler, he's got to improve that break. It's been a while since we talked about it. The first one he had wasn't his best.
Maybe justice prevailing. Luck not playing a part in that rack. We all thought it would. This time, Fedor Gorst not able to take advantage of a real fluke. 6-2, and you know, we've seen it time and time again how these 9-ball matches can shift around so quickly. Now, meanwhile, warming up backstage, practicing. Now, there's a shock. The most dedicated man in the game, Shane Van Boening, looking for a record-breaking 6th US Open title against Scotland's Eagle Eye, Jason Shaw. They've had so many epic battles, particularly in the Mosconi Cup. But it's not teams now, it is individual glory both of them are chasing. Let me quickly give you the scores. Jeffrey Rodder 6-3 on Johan Chur. Albin Auschen showing his mettle. He's won 2 racks after being 8-0 down against Kopinyi. And Niels Fine powering away against Joniuski. Fine leads 7-2.
Rack 9. Skyler Woodward to break.
Well, you're always going to have
6 racks
close
to 2.
matches in these types of events. The players are too great not to have them, but Niels hadn't had too many threats. Been pretty solid. Has a little better timing. Watch out for the cue ball in the upper left. Blue 2 got pinned down here on the bottom rail, and at first glance this is very difficult.
Kopinyi on the hill now against Albin Auschen at 9-2.
Well, we saw some glimpses, a few videos or clips of that match. Just watching Albin, you know, get out of his chair to get the balls and whatnot in between games. He didn't seem that upset, so it's probably just some kind of clinical performance from Kopinyi. I don't know. I may push out here. I think it's easy to sell out. This blue 2's near the cushion. Usually really good at these delicate ones. I'll tell you, from where he was at, he's given up a piece of this, but it wasn't terrible. And a lot of times when you're trailing, you know, even if you'd like to be running out, but if you can get into some of these battles, these safety exchanges, it can kind of settle you, maybe start to turn things around. leave a decent kick here. Very doable as far as the hit on the blue two. Hard to control it though.
You know the old saying, a wall of balls. Certainly applies here.
Yeah, but it could work out in his favor, you know, depending on how he wants to attack this kick shot. If he went off the right long rail, maybe able to roll it and try and use like the 6-8.
Extension, cool.
Maybe even hit it with more speed. I think you got to go this way. And the reason being, you can get safe with both kicks off the left rail or the right, but this one makes it more pocketable. This one here, you might chop it in and come down for shape on the red 3.
There's no doubt he's the crowd favourite, Woodward. Again, you can hear them annoyed that he's left the 2.
Yeah, this kind of looks awkward to me, Phil. I mean, can he easily kind of cannon off the green 6 and draw into position? I don't think so. I think this is, oh, he went into the 8. He's going to end up short. You know, you don't want to pass up on, you know, one you're never going to miss for a bank shot, but I thought he might consider the cross corner bank as good as he is because it laid perfect and he didn't have to go into those balls. Now, interesting, the 8 has gotten in the way of the corner, so he may play a kiss shot onto the 9 with the jump. Well, everyone wants Skyler to get back in it, but that was an incredible shot. Probably deserved a little more applause.
Now this is an examination of cueing. Passed with flying colours.
Yeah, really long through the ball there. Seven doesn't pass the 9, the brown 7. Center cut on the pink 4, so he's going to have to do a little something here from the green 6 to the brown 7. It shouldn't be a problem. He wants to fall just with a hair of an angle. That's why he's tapping the table. Probably got a little flatter than he desired, but they end up shooting a 7-9 combination now instead of getting some type of short side position. This is going to get funny, especially if it's on the rail. Oh, it passed it nicely. Thought it was going to end up a little short, kind of on the 50, but he's actually pretty perfect.
Able to jettison any negative thoughts about the previous rack, which he was in position to win. The reigning world champion and runaway number one in the World 9-Ball Tour rankings, in command here. He leads Skyler Woodward, 7-2.
Just turn it on, just turn it on. Start out the lights and watch me set it off. Just turn it on, just turn it on.
Earlier this month at the European Open, Johan Chur was the runner-up, beating Shane van Boening in the semi-finals brilliantly. Well, in this match, he's most certainly got his work cut out. As you can see, 7-3 down to Jeffrey Rodder. But a rack is on the board, a much-needed rack to reduce the deficit.
Rack
Other
11.
scores:
Sorry, rack 10.
Copenhagen
Fedor Gorst to break.
9, Albin Auschen
Leading
3,
7 racks to 2.
Niels Fein 7, Janioski 5.
Yeah, he's really smashing him, kind of disregarding the cue ball a bit. You know, he's played on this table deservingly. He should be in the limelight. #1 player in the world. He knows it's broke tough all week, so not holding back.
Yeah, this is his third match on this table. The other two were against Payne McBride and Koping Chung.
Yeah, kind of an odd one. Hate to roll the ball from distance, and he's one of the best stunners in the game. But to stun forward, you know, you stun off to the side, it's a little different, but to stun forward, and he has to go some 6 or 8 inches. He may just dead roll this. Oh, how good and calm was that, Phil?
Well, technically, he's so reliable, isn't he? He's still on the shot. You see so many players who have excessive body English. The shoulder, the head, whatever goes into the shot. Not with Fedor Gorst. He's just serene through the ball.
And always we talk about it, the most impressive thing with pool compared to many other sports, you can't practice all the shots. There's always little variations, little things that make every shot a bit different. But when you keep it as strong between the ears as this guy does, really helps.
The test of that stillness on the shot will be as the years go on and he accumulates more and more scar tissue. But right now, at the age of 24, he's got the world at his feet.
Yeah, and really, you know, Skyler's had some mistakes in a few matches. He's fallen behind and really has gotten it together. But here, he's really not made hardly any mistakes besides the 2 jumps that he was really in a bad position anyways.
Well, this is the thing with 9-ball pool. He's made fewer mistakes in this match than he did when he beat Biardo yesterday.
Yeah, just too much Gorst so far. Doesn't look like he wants to slow down.
8-2. And just 2 more racks required to dispatch his US Mosconi Cup captain. Meanwhile, attempting to claw back the deficit and pull off one of the most remarkable comebacks we've seen on the World 9-Ball Tour. Albin Auschen won't go down without a fight. He doesn't possess a white flag.
No, like I said, he didn't seem too upset. It was probably just Koping doing what he's capable of, sitting his opponent in the chair, and maybe Albin can return the favor. We've seen crazier.
I was mentioning before, Jeremy, the early dominance in this tournament of the Americans, and I think it's worth giving a short history lesson. The very first champion was Mike Siegel. That event was played in 1976 at Q Masters Billiards in Norfolk, Virginia, and he beat Pete Margot 11-1 in the final. First prize, a little over $3,000. And of course today, earlier on, Barry Hearn announced that next year's first prize here will be $100,000.
Yeah, and I think, you know, of course, that's Barry's plan to make these players
Rack 11.
more
Fedor Gorst to
superstars
break.
than they already are.
Leading
But
8 racks to 2.
I kind of feel like also he just got a soft spot in his heart, especially after playing this year's event. I cut those a bit much. Cue ball's going to get kissed.
Foul stroke,
So
ball
here
in
you
hand.
go, Skyler Woodward. Ball in hand to get the arm loose. Much needed as well. And so fitting, you told us our first champion, of course, but so fitting
stop the
that
clock.
our first non-American
Foul stroke,
champion
ball in hand.
was, you know, the greatest player ever at Efren Reyes.
Yes, who will later this year lend his name to the inaugural Reyes Cup, which is Europe against Asia.
Yeah, awkward out here. The 2 below the rack, it only has 1 pocket, and the 3, the red 3 up the table, doesn't have either of the upper corners, so he's got to run some type of short position onto the red 3. From there, the rack would open up.
If he doesn't dish here, it might be a quick conclusion. You've still got hope if he can keep a player off the hill. But if Gorch were to go 9-2 up to win 8 on the spin, even for someone as good as Woodward, might be a target too far.
It's going to end up a little short near the cushion a little bit. Nice, it did stop near the cushion so he can dig on the cue ball. You can see there's work in this rack. He's got to get nice in the pink to get to the purple.
Extension,
Not only
cool.
to get on the purple correct, that purple 5, but to get back for the green 6 and then back down. So a lot going on. You could see the takeaway was a little fast, and that sometimes happens with Skyler, actually all of us really. It wasn't an easy shot.
Before this match, it had not been dominant Gorst in this event. He'd played 73 racks, winning 42, losing 31. This scoreline, though, very much dominant.
Yeah, and everything just working out nicely. Of course, playing a great set, but right there falling a hair underneath the pink 4. If he gets straight, things get awkward. Now he can work the cue ball to the right side of the table. Still got things to do, though. It looks like the 7, the brown 7, may be a little tight passing the black 8. He's got to kind of smooth this up the table. Get into the ball too much. It doesn't want to travel, believe it or not. I tell you, there's an interesting player over here warming up, and a guy that I think we all want to see make a deep run because he's so much fun to watch. Mike Weisterbosch. Mark Weisterbosch. He's attacks all the time. What was it, the Spanish Open that you got to watch him play? Wow, he didn't even go for that. Tells you how tough it was.
Cool, calm, collected. A killer. 8-2 up. No risk pool. His choice.
Maybe shows you the respect and also reflecting on that comeback that he had at the European Open. He trailed by so many games. Ooh, I like the other way. I like off the right side rail. Trying to get 2 rails behind this. Maybe kick it in the left middle. Right middle.
Who can begrudge him that?
Well, he's sizing up the brown 7, so he's attacking here on a tough one. First roll of the match.
As it went towards the pocket, there was an element of doubt in the crowd, but it fell, and Woodward now 3 pots away from 3 racks.
Kind of like spinning into the 9 here. He may try to spin into the 8. Sure. Oh, he tried to catch the 8.
Tell you what, these pockets are playing a little more generous than they were certainly at the UK Open back in May. That one would not have fell.
No, I don't know if that one would have fell really on the outer tables either. I think it's just a combination, of course, the lights and the weather's been so good. It's cleanly struck. He's got to earn this first game back to try and get on the breaking in.
Springs eternal. Escaping the hook, he had the fluke. And now it's 8-3. 3 other matches going on, of course, in the last 16. Over on table 3, I think we're going to see our first view of Neil's Fine. This is the chance to go 8-5 up on Joniuski. Fine's been part of our commentary team for Mosconi Cups in the past. He's still very ambitious on the pool table. Deep into his 40s, he believes he can snap off big titles again. And who's to say he won't? The Dutchman 8-5 up there, but Joniuski has just won the 14th. So tightening up on table 3, and most certainly tightening up on table 1. Jeffrey Rodder led Jan Chur 7-3. It's now 7-6. As for table 2, well, Copenhagen on the verge against Albin Auschen at 9-4.
Rack 12. Skyler Woodward to break. Trailing 8 racks to 3.
Don't see this outcome very often after a break, and really didn't hit him that bad. Dry break, the 1-4-5 clustered up, the 2-7-8 at the top end, another cluster. This is going to be an odd push out for a very kind of strange setting with these balls. I think it's going to be a push out. I really don't see anything he can predict otherwise. Say he may have a little look at this 9 ball.
Extension,
now,
cool.
Is he going to come off with the cue ball and play it? Does he see something that the 1's going towards the 9 maybe? Looks like he's definitely playing it with the cue ball.
You're right there, Jeremy. What a scruffy rack this is. The way it's configured could be the lengthiest rack of the match so far.
Yeah, well, I think that's a bit of also better knowing how crafty Skyler is. So he took a little chance there. Skyler's going to try and cut this in and produce on the 2. Thick. I think the purple's going to give him some cover, but he knows that he'd have rather been trying to run out.
Over onto table 2, Ko Pin-Yi. Not quite getting into the cue ball as much as he wanted, but this is to progress into the quarterfinals. (10-4). Albin Auschen is out. Ko Pin-Yi remains
Foul stroke, ball in hand.
robust. Ko will face either Niels Fine or Joni Uski
Please
next.
start the clock.
You know, the one thing that may be a hair of a chink in the armor at times for Federer is the one rail kick. Not easy on the slick table, though. And not easy with ball in hand here. I may size up what he's doing here, looking at a 2-7 combo.
Extension, cool.
This is going to be tricky regardless. Looking at the pink 4 on the bottom cushion, the red 3 up table. He gets out here. Watch out going to the ad break. Settles himself. Maybe gets the break going. That's way light in near the cushion, so not sure he takes on the combo now. Huge hit here, not only just to give up ball in hand again, but we do have a rule: 3 fouls in a row is a loss of game. And the way this rack lays out, he doesn't hit this. Skyler may attempt for the 3 foul on Federer. I like this route myself.
Foul stroke, 2
Oh,
fouls.
that's huge.
Ball in hand.
Now to get with ball in hand from the 3 to the tough 4,
Please
much
start the clock.
easier than having to shoot the 2 and then the 3.
You made a very good point right at the start of this rack. He's so savvy, isn't he, Woodward? Tactically very sharp.
Yeah, and he's just one of those athletes that has a lot of know-how when it comes to trying to win. Again, though, difficult rack. He's ended up a little short, but he should be okay. Short of ideal, let's say.
Pink 4 came away from the cushion, but it went in nevertheless.
Alrighty, obviously has to kill the cue ball, hit it light, and hold a little bit of an angle is what he wants. Can stun 1 rail back, probably goes 2 rails with high right. Uh-oh. That could be it. He knew it right when he struck the cue
Foul
ball. It
strike,
was too
ball in
much.
hand. Fedor, you're on 2 fouls. If you foul during this inning, you will lose the rack. Please start the clock.
Ben Taylor Fuente had to do it because it's his job. He warned Fedor that a 3rd consecutive foul would lead to loss of rack. He's not fouling this.
No, and Skyler really got through the tough part, but he knew he couldn't get thin on the brown 7, so he had to gamble, trying to come all the way down the table. But you could hear a little something from him as soon as he struck that cue ball. You know, it wasn't good.
Fedor Gorst eats these 9 balls for breakfast.
Fedor Gorst wins the round.
Gorst on the hill, trebling up on Skyler Woodward. It is 9-3, and it's pretty comprehensive. We're at Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey, USA. It is the US Open, the 2024 version. A couple of Filipinos are doing battle on table 1. And Jeffrey Rodder, who's just run out of position there, leads Jan Chur 8-6. I think it's fair to say Rodder has been under the radar all week, even though we know just how good he can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Another Filipino great that, you know, the Filipinos are so animated. The ones that are a little on the quiet side sometimes get overlooked, but he's got a lot of game. And of course, you can't accidentally get in this position. And again, position to go further maybe.
Cancel on table 3. Neil's fine on the hill against Ioniuski at 9-6.
On the hill, leading 9 racks to
Fedor
3.
Gorst on the hill against Skyler Woodward 9-3.
Well, his last break of this match, and he won't back off. Cue ball got kissed up the table again. Another kiss. Looks like he didn't really get a look at the blue 2. Not much of one anyways. Maybe a swerve if he wants it. But at 9-3, you're not going to take any chances on a shot like that. It'll be a strategic push out of some sort.
If you've been with us throughout the broadcast, you'll know that Kopenier defeated Albin Aushin on table 2, 10-4. So the next match on table 2 will be Ukrainian Vitaly Pachura against Austria's Max Lechner.
Skyler, it's your choice.
Just had a loud come on there. Sounded like Neil's fine to me.
Yeah, it was a little bit of Elliot Sanderson-ish, but definitely I think it was Neil's fan and moving on. I tell you, last year he knocked on the door quite a few times in some of these situations. Now to the final 8. Biggest moment in a while, I think, for him. Wanted a little more because he knows even though snookered with that grouping near the spot, the 5-6-9, this kick isn't very hard to send the 2 up table and get the cue ball safe. Just a little high ball. You don't need a ton of speed. Oh, he's cut this too much. So an opening.
Can Woodward get going?
And he's got a tricky one again. Really, this first shot to get on the red 3 isn't easy. Smart push by Fedor Gorst, kind of making the 5 more difficult when he moved that. Oh, he caught that thick. That's why the cue ball cannoned into the pink and kind of really maybe fortunate to bury the 2. He's going to attack here, though. He knows it's going to take something special to track his opponent down.
Another terrific pot, but the shape not there.
Yeah, I didn't expect to shoot that gap between the green 6 and the purple 5. Don't know what else he may do here. Is he trying
Extension,
to
cool.
take the pink on and then go for a long combination or combination from distance on the 5-9? I mean, that's just instinct, Phil, when you're down 9-3, is trying to make something happen. You got a playable shot on the 5. Does the 6 pass the 9 to the same pocket? That may be the speed he wants.
Now we heard that come on from Niels Fine. This is the reason. Simple 9 ball to advance. Oh, but Skyler Woodward, after that, not advancing. The opposite, departing, surely.
Yeah,
Extension
really
cool.
unfortunate. Difficult rack like the last. Got through the tough part. Lost the cue ball in the previous game. Now a missed 6 and really the easiest shot of the rack. Really got through that first 5 or 6 balls impressively.
I think he might have been a little disturbed in terms of concentration by a spectator walking into the arena there. It's a very inopportune moment. Shame. Horrible to have movement behind a pocket.
Yeah, beautiful cueing there. Kind of a drag stroke with a little draw and outside spin. Not the easiest shot. You know, a little easier when you're ahead 9-3 and looking to close the door and get to a final 8, but a shot that's easily missed.
Oh, a little bit of adrenaline in that one.
And at first glance, you know, it just takes a centimeter or an inch to change things, but I think the cue ball's kind of going one rail towards the upper right corner, so he's got to be concerned there.
He missed an identical 9 ball to this against Alexa Pachelch yesterday to go 9-5 up. He undercut that 9 ball, he overcuts this one. Could Fedor Gorst live to greatly regret that? Because the positional shot from 8 to 9 left an awful lot to be desired. Skyler Woodward just yet. He was on the brink of elimination, but Fedor Gorst, as he's done all week, finding difficulty applying that finishing touch. He's giving himself some anxious moments unnecessarily.
Yeah, we all miss balls, but sometimes you go months and months without missing the 9 just because you're always playing shape, you're geared up to make it. We saw it in Saudi. He had a unusually amount of missed 9 balls for such a great player. Jeffrey Rhoda, who was up, he didn't get out in that last game. Now another chance to get to the hill.
Yes, so Niels Fine, we've seen win against Joniuski 10-6. Fine will play Kopin in the quarterfinals this evening. Kopin winning 10-4 against Albin Auschen. And Jeffrey Rodder get to the hill.
Great stroke there, real calm, bringing the cue ball up the left side. Got a lot out of it, really. Maybe a little unfortunate to rest near the cushion.
We'll let you know how Rodder proceeds.
He's going to get a shot. Blue 2's going to open up, I think. It's all right. Didn't get the 1 down, so probably a little stressed when he saw the rack open, but this is pretty nice. This is very playable. Obviously worked there, but you know, if you're going to make a comeback, it's probably got to have some breaking runs.
Woodward just has to keep plugging away, exploiting the fact that Gorch knows he should be over the line already.
Yeah, tricky rack again because of the 4 not passing anywhere easy. The 4-5 combination, if you get in line, pretty easy overall, but having to get near the rail with the cue ball, having to shoot it, maybe a little angle. I think he takes this 2 in the corner here to hold the proper angle for the 3. Speed looks perfect. Stress-free combination. He hit nice and light to hold the pink over the pocket. Make sure you get into the cue ball here. Being a little stretched, easy to end up a hair short. Like it was plenty of speed.
In snooker, you hear the phrase, the last frame is always the toughest to win. This week for Fedor Gorst, the last rack often has been the toughest to win. Again, having to endure a time out there when he might well have got the victory already. Second match of the day has begun on table 2. It is Max Lechner of Austria, runner-up in this a couple of years ago, against Ukraine's Vitaly Pachura. Pachura knocks in the 9-ball. Let's not forget that he defeated Fedor Gorst in winners' qualification, 9-4.
Yeah, Vitaly's, all know, been around him now a couple years and how talented and great player he is. Another one of those, not as animated, right, kind of keeps to himself a bit more, so it's easy to forget, but he's shooting for a title, not just a top 8. He's trying to win this tournament.
When we were over on table 1, it looked as though Jeffrey Rodder was going to move to the hill
15.
against Johan Schur. He
Skyler
has
Woodward
done
to
so
break.
at
Trailing 9
9-7.
racks to 5.
Watch out, cue ball.
Foul stroke, ball in hand.
This table has been stingy.
And please start the clock.
Not with the white ball there, just sliding by the red 3. Could have used a kiss, but a dry break wasn't what he wanted.
No clusters, nothing awkward, all balls in the open. For someone of Fedor Gorst's ability, this should be the coup de grace.
I'm a little surprised he's looking for the 2 in the side. I thought he'd just kind of stun draw over by the 7, take the 2 in the lower right corner. Don't really have to worry about speed control too much on the cue ball then. He's going to end up a hair short. Should be able to cut it in and kill the cue ball though. Maybe even draws into the pink. Of course, he's got to get out. But this is going to be upsetting for Sky, I think. Not so much the performance. Really played pretty well with what he was given. It's just, I think, for how he's feeling right now, I truly believe even more than the European Open. I think he felt like he could really snap this event off. Like I said, it's not over. He's got to get somewhat full here, or maybe work the cue ball off the pink to the purple. You can see purple 5, not a pocket on the bottom end. This speed control is going to help quite a bit.
In the World 9-Ball Tour rankings, Skyler Woodward occupies 15th. Fedor Gorst occupies top spot. He will remain there for the foreseeable future, and if he were to win this tournament, his lead would be immense. But first, he's got to win this match. And again, he looks a little vulnerable as the line approaches.
Yeah, stretched. I'm really surprised he depended on his speed
Extension
control
call.
big time. He could have just rolled the 4 in pretty softly and stuck in that little gap between the 6 and 8. Maybe trying to get that 5 in the side, I guess, when the corner to me was a pretty easy shot and very guaranteed as well. It's close to it, this thin cut. Should be all right. But again, it's all about speed control, getting on the 6.
Almost simultaneous conclusions. Johan Schur, semi-finalist at the World 9-Ball Championship, runner-up at the European Open, will not be going deep, or as deep as that here. Jeffrey Rodder defeats him 10-7. So, Rodder will now await, presumably, Gorch.
Looks like he's going back and forth.
Once bitten, twice shy. Looked certain to win 10-3. But 8-9 did not work out. The 9 was missed in rack 13, but surely it's not going to be missed here. As a mobile phone goes off in the audience, would you believe, while he was addressing the cue ball. Thank heavens, that was a very easy 9-ball for Fedor Gorst. He doubles up on Skyler Woodward. He gains revenge for that defeat at the corresponding stage of the European Open. Fedor Gorst, the world champion, into the quarterfinals with a 10-5 victory.
Turn